Hey, you guys, happy Tuesday. I'm going to share a story with you, and you really have to read between the lines, but it'll be very easy to do. Trust me, okay? Now, this story is out of Pensacola, Florida. I looked into this story a little bit earlier when I was at work, and I was able to screenshot some things. Luckily, I did, because when I went back to see if there were any more comments, because people that follow me know I love to read comments. When I went back to look to see if anybody else had added any more comments, the owner of the page had either got somebody to delete these comments or they deleted the comments themselves, okay? So her name is Tara Sykes. She's 36 years old. Now, the article read like this. Tara Sykes instructed a 10-year-old to purposefully drop a 2-month-old infant on its head. Tara wanted this newly born dropped on a hard tile floor, even suggested that the 10-year-old drown this baby in a tub. She told the 10-year-old to cut the people's throats that this 10-year-old was living with, to use an aerosol can and douse the sheets with this aerosol liquid and set these sheets on fire with these people in these sheets, even set the house on fire. So Tara Sykes wanted whoever was living with these people to no longer be living, and especially that baby. This is how Tara Sykes felt. Now, she did this using a gaming platform called Roblox that the children usually frequent. I have a 12-year-old godson who loves to play Roblox, and I would give him money to whatever he's doing, Roblox Bucks, I think they call it. And I guess there's a messaging section. So she was messaging this 10-year-old and telling this 10-year-old, or like they say, instructing this 10-year-old on what to do to this family. Now, her profile, it says, "I love my family more than life itself." This is what Tara Sykes' profile says. I had to do a little digging in the comments. And again, if you do watch my videos, I really go for the comments because I was so like, what is going on with this story? You know, like, who is this 10-year-old? Is this 10-year-old a little girl or a little boy? And who is this baby? Was the baby a little girl or a little boy? It just wasn't really leaving. It was just leaving everything, I guess. You pretty much had to read between the lines. And I've been, reading these stories for some years. I mean, really decades. Seriously, really decades. So I looked and I see that Tara became Mrs. Sykes on February 4th, 2020. Okay. Courthouse wedding, it looks like. Now, the first comment, it said, "He's such a good guy that he pumped out those little girls and her own daughter and tried to kill her grandchild." Now, I believe this commenter meant to say pimped out, and I think that it was probably an autocorrect that may have, changed it. But anyway, so I'm alleging, and again, everything in this video is alleged, okay? It is alleged, but I am assuming that, pimped out, okay, we all know what pimped out means, but the grandchild, was this baby Tara Sykes' grandchild? Now, on her page, she does have pictures of smaller children. Look like they could be, 10 and under. But she could possibly have an older child, too. Okay. Second comment, "I have a feeling it was her own child she asked to do these things. My understanding is the stepdad is in jail for child abuse, and the child or children were removed from the home." Now, I haven't checked in to see if Mr. Sykes, okay, is in jail for child abuse. But you know what? I'm going to check into that. I really am. But that's what this commenter has said. So it's looking like maybe Mr. Sykes had something to do or may have something to do with the abuse of these children. Now, the third commenter said, did you marry her because she let you grape her children? And we all know what grape means, and it's not that really good fruit that we love to eat. No, grape means something else, something horrible. And we all know by now that sometime, pedos really do this. They'll get with a woman, especially a woman that appears to be desperate or appears that she'll do anything for him so that he can have access to her kids. We know that. Now, I'm not saying that this is the circumstance in this story, but we do know that that does sometimes happen. So Tara Sykes, she was arrested last Friday and charged with attempted murder while engaged in aggravated child abuse. So she is in the Escambia jail. I believe I said that right. But that is where she is at right now. Now, the 10-year-old actually would tell authorities that she was directed by her mother to do this, and that she felt that her life was at stake if she didn't. And there was a moment where the baby was crying and being very fussy. So she went and took the baby, I guess, out the baby's crib or whatever, and would bring the baby to an adult that was in the kitchen with the hard tile floor. And she did drop the baby on the floor. I did find out that the baby was a little boy. Well, should I say is, because the baby is still living. He did have a skull fracture, but last article I did read that the baby was still living, which is very good. Very good. That's why she got charged with attempted murder. She attempted to try to get this 10-year-old to kill the baby. Okay? So ECSO is working with the state attorney's office to see if they will press charges on this 10-year-old. And, obviously this is the 10-year-old girl, one of the girls, I believe, that is pictured with Tara Sykes on her page. I'm just curious, do you believe, after hearing about this, that the 10-year-old should be charged? Because it will be attempted murder based on what her mother told her to do. But she did say that she felt that her own life was at stake. Now, earlier this year, Tara allowed an adult male to live in the same house with a impregnated teenager. And that male was the person that impregnated this teenager. When authorities did go to this house, this teenager who was pregnant was malnourished. Now, I'm believing that this child, or I'm going to say teenager, this teenager could possibly be Tara's older daughter. And based on these comments now, is it Mr. Sykes who impregnated? That's why they're calling him a pedo in the comments. Because sometimes these comments be really on point. So I think this has a lot to do with it. Yeah, the comments will say much more than some of these articles are. So it's my assumption that these children are all placed in foster care because this man was maybe having or abusing the teenager, and the teenager may have had a child by this man. And this is why Tara Sykes wanted this baby dead. This baby probably is her grandchild. And also Mr. Sykes' child, son. So wow, it's crazy. I definitely will be following the story too to see if some of this clears up. But right now, this is what I'm going with. If you guys know anything about this story, please add it. I really want to know. But there you go. Right out of Florida. Pensacola, Florida. Okay, you guys. Have a great Tuesday.